We have a lot to catch up on today. Just to make up for lost time, I hope you had a happy Thanksgiving, a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Kwanzaa, and Happy Hanukkah. Now, we have a TikTok ban, which honestly I'm kind of glad to see TikTok finally on its way out. We have an entire city that has gone up in flames and displaced tens of thousands of people, and unfortunately seems to be the site of a smart city in 2028, more on that later. And a mysterious crisis of a bunch of drones that, honestly, at one point I was convinced were aliens in my home state of New Jersey. And we have a presidential inauguration coming up next Monday, which, if last July was any indicator, I just hope doesn't devolve into a second American Civil War, but I'll keep my fingers crossed. So, first off, TikTok. I'll never forget when, TikTok came out and everyone was talking about it as being, the next Vine, and I really liked Vine, so it was kind of neat to see, short-form content going, viral and in vogue as it was. And that sounds cool, but once Vine was gone, I don't know, the energy it sort of brought at that specific time, in kind of our history, it wasn't something that TikTok could sort of just lean in on and recreate. To get an image of why it is that TikTok could never live up to what Vine was, think of the most viral Vines, the ones that you found the funniest, and typically they were just a very creative way of getting a chuckle out of someone from thinking of something funny, writing something funny in only 10 to 15 seconds. In TikTok, what's gone viral are a bunch of just synthetic and inorganic trends that haven't lasted longer than a few weeks. To now see it going, all these stories of kind of, the Chinese using it to showing us very low grade and easily digestible content, while back in China, a lot of videos around science and engineering and all this stuff, I don't know. I never really got into it. I wasn't really cool. I'd much rather have at least an American company using my data because at least they can be audited, whereas the Chinese, it's you can't really control what they do. I don't know, maybe I'm really unread on the topic, and maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. If anyone's an expert on TikTok in China and how that works, let me know. What's funny? My mom uses TikTok every night. The same mother that told me I couldn't play on my Game Boy when I was 7 because I had school in the morning. And it's I even told her a while ago, it's listen, I don't know why you use TikTok. I'm kind of glad that I haven't reinstalled it. And I was this close to reinstalling it, especially with all the shit that was happening last year and all the news stories that were circulating on TikTok that, my family would send me links of and I couldn't watch because I didn't have the app. Now, don't get me wrong, I do understand that a lot of people have made a really sustainable living using TikTok. And I guess, as long as you're not one of these people that kind of already has multiple multi-million-dollar businesses that you just use TikTok to advertise on, and it doesn't really give you any additional income, I don't really feel bad for those people. But yeah, for people who went viral on that platform, it can be pretty emotional. What I can tell you is that if you needed to appeal to an audience on TikTok that you couldn't have found on YouTube, then maybe the type of content you're trying to produce isn't the best content that really anyone should be watching. And all I really mean by that is just that maybe you should rethink your brand and how you want to approach your audience. Come over to the YouTube side. We have play buttons. But if you like TikTok and you're kind of upset that it's going to go away, or you're hoping that some American company buys it or Elon Musk buys it, just let me know down in the comments. Now, Los Angeles. LA. I can't help but feel like this is God punishing them the way that he punished Sodom and Gomorrah. And of course I mean that half jokingly, because a lot of people lost, innocent people. I'm not talking about the rich, sort of Hollywood celebrities that can buy 1 million houses. Do you remember that Maui video that I made where I was discussing kind of how a bunch of people lost their homes, and presumably because a bunch of very rich billionaires are going to be making their homes in that area? Well, so there's more conspiracies going on about this happening in LA, where apparently they're going to try and build a smart city there by 2028 because they're going to be hosting the Olympics that year in LA. At this point, I don't really put anything past the very rich and powerful in this world, and yeah, I think they probably wouldn't be above killing a whole bunch of people and displacing them. What do you guys think? Do you think these fires were an inside job? Do you think that they're genuinely started by a bunch of maniacs or homeless people, and maybe the state didn't do anything about it purposefully? I don't really know. I'm kind of leaning on the second option, because this whole thing of a smart city, I feel like someone would have called it by now. It'd kind of be frontline news, but I don't even know to trust the news for any honest reporting anymore anyways. Now for drone talk. Who would have thought that Black Ops 2 would become reality only 13 years later? And again, I live in New Jersey, so I probably would have seen them, but I haven't seen a single one. Sometimes in the morning, because like I started a new job at a machine shop, so what happens is like in the very early morning, I'll be crossing one of the bridges, like to cross a river in my state, and I'm just kind of looking up at the sky and like, you know, I'm near an airport, so like, all right, I see a couple planes, you know, and I see maybe one or two really bright lights in the morning, and I thought that they were maybe drones, but I just really never paid attention to them. I actually thought they were aliens at one point. I mean, even my father did. My father's really big on like alien conspiracies and stuff like that. So we were talking back and forth. Then we got the rumor that there were actually just drones that were looking for unexploded nuclear weapons. And if that's the case, then I think we're in really big trouble if there's a missing nuke somewhere on the East Coast. Hey, I'll have my own Fallout server to play in. That's awful. I shouldn't say that. A buddy of mine did find like some videos of drones, like drones that he actually saw around his house, and he doesn't really live too far from me, so maybe I'll post them there and you guys can go check them out. So here's the thing. My friend who actually, he kind of keeps up with like, you know, sort of current military practices and technologies. It's not out of the realm of possibility that the FBI and CIA were just running like training exercises with technology. Drones are still kind of new, at least in the military context, so it wouldn't surprise me that if they were maybe, I don't know, trying to conduct, you know, simulated, you know, people tracking, you know, exercises using like drone AI imaging technology and just doing it on an unsuspecting civilian population, not with an intent to do anything, but just to see how well the technology works. I mean, sure, I kind of have experience like sort of learning about penetration testing in the context of cybersecurity, and typically whenever you're doing certain penetration tests, you typically want the test subject, the host, to not know that you're running the test. So that's honestly one of the more plausible explanations to me. I feel like if it was something a lot more sinister, there would have been a whistleblower at this point. I think it was even Neil deGrasse Tyson who at one point kind of mentioned that if we did really find something substantial about aliens, there are whistleblowers about so many things in this day and age. Why wouldn't there be a whistleblower about an alien? Why wouldn't there be a whistleblower about these being, I don't know, Iranian or Chinese drones carrying nuclear weapons or like, you know, biotechnology weapons, you know, some bioweapons? Why didn't I say bioweapons? What is wrong with me? My thinking is that like whatever they are, if it's something like truly that the American people should know, I really feel Trump's just probably going to declassify whatever documents he has to declassify once he gets into office. Because I mean, I think when he was on Rogan, Trump did say he was going to make a bunch of this stuff public. I would not be surprised if we find out from Trump that the feds actually killed Kennedy back in '63. Which brings me to my closing topic. My goal is to not get political with this channel. I'm just trying to talk about what I'm thinking in regards to the 2025 inauguration. I'm not going to get political or anything. I'm just saying kind of something that's been really concerning me in regards to just, I don't know. Trump was almost killed last July, like twice, so it wouldn't surprise me that like some other maniac is going to try and pull something at the inauguration and God forbid kill another innocent bystander. That's the only thing I'm concerned about. I just hope they have a lot of bulletproof glass, and I just hope that everything, you know, goes smoothly, and I just hope that we can come together as a country and just really, you know, put differences aside and just try to say, all right, we put up with 4 years of him, put up with 4 years of Biden. Whatever side you're on, let's just try to be civil about things. And who knows, if some people are extra good, maybe Trump will bring back TikTok. Mr. President, the American people want to know, is Elon Musk going to buy TikTok from the Chinese? All I can say is this: we had an amazing time with TikTok, some amazing people we were talking to. I gotta tell you, amazing people over in TikTok, amazing people. Elon, he's a great guy. I promise you, I only wanted to film this just to do that impression. I'm done. Okay, I got one more. Chris Christie, what a guy, what a loser. He's using the drones to eat McDonald's on the front porch. What a guy, what an absolute buffoon. Let me tell you something. I could have been a better governor than Christie ever could. Also, like, what is it with this, like, Louisiana purchase on steroids type idea where we're somehow going to buy Canada and Greenland? I can't believe I'm actually saying this. What strategic purpose is there in acquiring a nation with completely different values opposed to us, a different constitution, a different history? Do you actually think the Canadians wish to be the 51st state? What makes you think you're going to be able to simply buy Canada? This is ridiculous. is. Listen, Justin Trudeau is already on his way out, so I guess the Canadian people already want change. That they want that change to be under the American yoke is something that I very seriously doubt. It's just so bizarre to me lately, just talking about a bunch of nonsense. Like, don't get me wrong, again, I want everything to go well, but at the same time, it's like, why are you talking about this type of stuff like a week before the inauguration? Maybe focus on fixing some of the wars around the world or other stuff like that. I don't know. It's really stupid. I really feel like Trump is sort of a master of the troller. So he'll bring this stuff up because he knows that it's going to get him coverage, more news coverage. And then he's just going to ignore it, like, once the time comes. I mean, if anything, we should focus on buying some key islands in the Caribbean if these people want to be liberated from their debt. Like maybe, I don't know, the Puerto Ricans, the Dominicans. I just think it's going to be a real pain in the ass if we have to change all American flags to now include 2 more states, one of which is almost as big as the entire country itself. Can you imagine, like, Trump presenting, like, Greenland to Melania as, like, an anniversary gift? Melania, my sweetheart, we've been together for so many years. You're an amazing woman. I decided to make it Melania Land just for you. I hope you enjoy it. Your beloved, Donnie. I don't know why I keep torturing myself like this. So, as you can imagine, really packed video, a bunch of scattered thoughts everywhere. I just thank you guys for obviously being patient. I've just had a really messed up uploading schedule. I have, again, calibrated my new recorder and the new sound and visuals. I hope everything looks good for you guys. And yeah, I hope to make this like a weekly sort of thing where I just react to things in the news, and maybe I'll do like a react video over the weekend. I'm planning to do the Ghost of Tsushima sequel trailer and the Witcher 4 trailer reaction. I know I'm kind of late to the party on those, but I at least want to, get back to the content that I wanted to make for you guys and just couldn't because of other arrangements. I'm finally at least working some sort of a job where I'm out of the house from like 5 to 3:30, which is really annoying, but I'm just glad to be making money. But Mevanites, no, thank you guys for staying with me, and I'm just really sorry that I can't get this stuff to you like sooner and more often. But if you stuck around to the end of the video, I'm just appreciate a subscribe and a like, and yeah, I hope to see you guys again over the weekend or just anytime soon. Hopefully not another like month and a half. Thank you guys.